EU Directive 92/EC established an energy consumption labelling scheme. The directive was implemented by several other directives, thus most white goods, light bulb packaging and cars must have an EU energy label clearly displayed when offered for sale or rent. The energy efficiency of the appliance is rated in terms of a set of energy efficiency classes from A to G on the label, A being the most energy efficient, G the least efficient. The labels also give other useful information to the customer as they choose between various models. The information should also be given in catalogs and included by internet retailers on their websites. In an attempt to keep up with advances in energy efficiency, A+, A++ and A+++ grades were later introduced for various products. Since 2010, a new type of label exists that makes use of pictograms rather than words, to allow manufacturers to use a single label for products sold in different countries. Directive 92/EC was replaced by Directive 2010/EU, which must be applied from July 31, 2011. Major appliances. Labeling equals. The energy labels are separated into at least 4 categories: the appliance's details, according to each appliance, specific details, of the model and its materials, energy class, a color code associated to a letter that gives an idea of the appliance's electrical consumption, efficiency, capacity, etc. This section gives information according to appliance type. Noise. The noise emitted by the appliance is described in decibels. Refrigerating appliances equals, for refrigerating appliances, such as refrigerators, freezers, wine storage appliances, and combined appliances, the labeling is specified in terms of an Energy Efficiency Index EEI, which is an indication of the annual power consumption relative to a reference consumption that is based on the storage volume and the type of appliance. The boundary between the A+ and A classes is 44 up to July 1, 2014, and 42 after that date. The label also contains the annual energy consumption in kWh, the capacity of fresh foods in liters for refrigerators and combined appliances, the capacity of frozen foods in liters for freezers and combined appliances, the noise in decibel, A, for cold appliances, for models that are more economical than those of Category A, categories A+, A++ and A+++ have been assigned. Washing machines and tumble dryers equals, up to 2010, the energy efficiency scale for washing machines is calculated based on a cotton cycle at 60 degrees Celsius with a maximum declared load. This load is typically 6 kilograms. The energy efficiency index is in kWh per kilogram of washing, assuming a cold water supply at 15 degrees Celsius. The energy label also contains information on total consumption per cycle, washing performance a with a class from A to G, spin drying performance a with a class from A to G, maximum spin speed, the total cotton capacity in kg, water consumption per cycle in liters, noise in the washing and spinning cycles decibel, A. The washing performance is measured not according to European Harmonized Standard EN 60456 and is based on a 60 degrees Celsius cycle on fabric samples with stains of oil, blood, chocolate, milk, and red wine, using a standardized detergent and compared against a reference washing machine. The amount of stain removal is then translated into a washing performance index. The spin drying efficiency class is based on the remaining moisture content, which is the mass of water divided by the dry mass of cotton fabrics. It is based on a weighted average of full load and partial load cycles. A new energy label, introduced in 2010, is based on the Energy Efficiency Index, and has energy classes in the range A+++ to D. The EEI is a measure of the annual electricity consumption, and includes energy consumed during power-off and standby modes, and the energy consumed in 220 washing cycles. For the washing cycles, a weighted mix consisting of 42% full load cycles at 60 degrees Celsius, 29% partial load cycles at 60 degrees Celsius, and 29% partial load cycles at 40 degrees Celsius. The washing performance is not mentioned anymore, since all washing machines must reach Class A anyway. For a 6 kg machine, An EEI of 100 is equivalent to 334 kilowatt-hours per year, or 1.52 kilowatt-hours per cycle. For tumble dryers, the energy efficiency scale is calculated using the cotton drying cycle with a maximum declared load. The energy efficiency index is in kWh per kilogram of load. Different scales apply for condenser and vented dryers. The label also contains the energy consumption per cycle, the total cotton capacity, whether the unit is vented or condensing, noise in decibel, A. For combined washer dryers, the energy efficiency scale is calculated using the cotton drying cycle with a maximum declared load. The energy efficiency index is in kWh per kilogram of load. Different scales apply for condenser and vented dryers. The label also contains the energy consumption per cycle, the energy consumption per cycle a washing only, washing performance a with a class from A to G, the maximum spin speed, the total cotton capacity, water consumption for a full load washed and dried a note that condenser dryers may use significant amounts of water on the drying cycle, noise in decibel. Dishwashers the energy efficiency of a dishwasher is calculated according to the number of place settings. For the most common size of appliance, the 12-place setting machine, the following classes apply up to 2010. After 2010, a new system is used, based on an energy efficiency index, which is based on the annual power usage, based on standby power consumption and 280 cleaning cycles, relative to the standard power usage for that type of dishwasher. For a 12-place setting dishwasher, an EEI of 100 corresponds to 462 kilowatt-hours per year. The label also contains the energy consumption in kWh/cycle, the efficiency of the washing cycle with a class from A to G, the efficiency of the drying cycle with a class from A to G, the capacity as a number of place settings, the water consumption in liters per cycle, noise in decibel, A. Ovens For ovens, the label also contains the efficiency with a class from A to G, the energy consumption in kWh, the volume in liters, the type. Water heaters and hot water storage appliances. Air conditioners For air conditioners, the directive applies only to units under 12 kilowatts. On every label, you will find the model, the energy efficiency category from A to G, the annual energy consumption, the cooling output at full load in kilowatt, the energy efficiency ratio in cooling mode at full load, the appliance type, the cooling mode, the noise rating in decibel. For air conditioners with heating capability, you will also find the heat output at full load in kilowatt, the heating mode energy efficiency category. Note that there exist units with EER and COP greater than 5, so take a note of the actual number when it is A-rated. Light bulbs. On every label of light bulbs and tubes, you will find the energy efficiency category from A to G, the luminous flux of the bulb in lumens, the electricity consumption of the lamp in watts, the average life length in hours. According to the light bulb's electrical consumption relative to a standard, the light bulb is in one of the following classes. Class A is defined in a different way. Hence, the variable percentage. These lamp classes correspond roughly to the following lamp types. Since 2012, A+ and A++ classes are added and are introduced different classes for directional lamps and non-directional lamps. Directional lamps are defined as having at least 80% light output within a solid angle of I/SR. Since September 2009, household light bulbs must be Class A, with the exception of clear lamps. For the latter category, lamps must be Class C or better, with a transition period up to September 2012, and Class B after September 2016. Calculation equals. Incandescent and fluorescent lamps with and without integrated ballast can be divided into energy efficiency classes. The division of household lamps made in the EU Directive 98/EC of January 27, 1998 and also includes lamps that are not marketed for use in the home. Excluded are inter alia light sources with more than 6,500 lumens and those that are not operated on line voltage. To determine the energy efficiency class, proceed as follows. and P is the power consumption of the lamp in watts. Lamps are classified into Class A if Fluorescent lamps without integrated ballast are classified into Class A if. The classification in the energy efficiency class BG is based on the percentage at the reference power. About the power consumption of a standard light bulb with the same luminous flux. The allocation of energy efficiency index for energy efficiency class indicated in the foregoing section. Television. In 2010, an energy label for televisions was introduced. 1. The energy class is based on the energy efficiency index, which is the power consumption relative to a reference power consumption. The reference power consumption of a normal television with screen area is NB. The above calculation is based upon equals 20 watts for television sets with one tuner receiver and no hard disk. Since the switch to digital terrestrial transmissions, all new televisions sold in Europe have both analog and digital tuners, so it means that the reference is increased to 24 watts as set out in the directive. The formula is as follows: for television sets with two or more tuners receivers, adding of a hard drive, S, then the formula is as follows: for television sets with hard disk, S, and two or more tuners receivers. For example, a television with a diagonal of 82 cm has a screen area A equals 28.7 decimeters to and a reference power consumption of 144 W. The energy classes are as in the table below. 2. The annual on-mode energy consumption E in kilowatt-hour is calculated as E equals 1.46 pages 3. Televisions with automatic brightness control, for the purposes of calculating the energy efficiency index and the annual on-mode energy consumption referred to in points 1 and 2, the on-mode power consumption as established according to the procedure set out in Annex 7 is reduced by 5% if the following conditions are fulfilled when the television is placed on the market: the luminance of the television in the home mode or the on-mode condition as set by the supplier, is automatically reduced between an ambient light intensity of at least 20 lux and 0 lux. The automatic brightness control is activated in the home mode condition or the on-mode condition of the television as set by the supplier. Cars. For motor vehicle it isn't electrical efficiency that is indicated but carbon dioxide emissions in grams per kilometer traveled. Other information that is indexed for the energy label is its brand, its model, its version, its fuel, its transmission type, its weight, the different consumptions of fuel, mixed consumption, urban consumption, extra-urban consumption. The CO2 emissions in grams per kilometer. Tires. European tire labels came into force in November 2012. The tire labeling will show 3 tire performance attributes: rolling resistance, wet grip and external rolling noise. The tire label apply to car and SUV tires, van tires, truck tires 1, with the exception of tires for cars made before October 1, 1990, retreaded tires, motorcycle tires, racing sports car tires, studded tires, spare tires, vintage car tires, professional off-road tires. See also: Ecolabel, Home Energy Performance Certificate, House Energy Rating, Energy Policy of the European Union, Fuel Mix Disclosure on Labeling the Origins and Environmental Effects of Electricity, European Tire Labels. References. External links: Official EU Regulations on Energy Labeling, New EU Energy Label, A Guide for Retailers, Atlet Projector Euro Appliance Testing for Energy Label Evaluation, Come On Labels Project.